Hey everybody, got a fun one today. I told you I had a couple of David Bowie stories. If you haven't heard my other one, I talk about meeting David Bowie and listening to Young Americans off of his Young American album. And I think it's the first episode, season 1, episode 1. Go back and take a listen. Well, this is kind of a different story. I got to snoop around David Bowie's house. I was bad. I worked with Cherry Vanilla, as I mentioned before in the previous David Bowie video. And Cherry gave me a call and said, you want to go to the circus? And I said, oh, yeah, sure, why not? She says, well, you've been working for me really hard, and, I wasn't really getting paid, and I guess she thought taking me to the circus would be a really nice gesture, which it was. And she said the car's going to pick us up, at blah, blah, blah o'clock or something like that. It was a matinee in the afternoon. And I thought, oh, okay. She says, come here and we'll jump in the car. And she didn't say much of anything else. And I met her at her house, which is on 20th Street between 9th and 10th Avenues. There was a seminary there. She lived right across the street. She was on the top floor. She had this giant floor through of a brownstone, which was like a loft. It was decorated really nice with pink lighting and curtains and chiffon and, kind of looked like, I'd dream a genie's bottle as a kid. That's what I remembered. It was beautiful. So we went there, jumped in. There was a limousine waiting outside. And I was like, wow, okay. It went one block down to 20th Street between 8th and 9th Avenues. And we picked up Angie Bowie, which was David Bowie's wife, and her son, Zowie, which is Mick Jones now, who did the movie Moon. If you haven't seen Moon, it's really, really cool. He must have been 8 years old at the time or something like that. It was really, really cool. And Angie and Zowie Bowie got in the car, and we went to Madison Square Garden, and I remember getting out of a limo, and people were, ooh, who's in the limo? Just us, And we had seats down, beautiful ringside seats, and I sat next to Mick, and he bought I think it was like a sword or a lighted thing, and he was playing with it, and we were playing, and Cherry and Angie were talking to each other, got to see the circus, like right there in front of us. It was really great. Then we went, when we left, the limo was there, and Angie said, why don't you come over and hang out for a while? I thought, oh, great. So we went back to 20th Street, and Cherry, myself, her son, and Angie, who I'm still friends with, by the way, and she's a wonderful person. And the Rolling Stones did that song Angie about her, so that's the rumor. We went back to the house, and we were sitting downstairs. It was it was a 4-story brownstone. The basement had a big kitchen, and in the front part of it, which you could sort of see from street level, had kind of like a wooden kitchen table. And the first floor was the living room. The second floor was 2 or 3 bedrooms, I can't remember. And then the top floor was this open loft. But we were just downstairs. We didn't get to go upstairs. And we're sitting around the table and talking and, blah, 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 blah. And Angie asked Cherry, well, what do I do? And Cherry says that I'm a musician and I have a studio and I do all kinds of music, and Cherry's wonderful promotion, how fabulous I was and all that kind of stuff. So Angie turns to me and says, you have a studio? And I said, yeah. She goes, David's reel-to-reel tape recorder is broken. Could you go upstairs and take a look at it and see if you can get it fixed? And I was like, oh, sure, sure. So I wound up, I said, sure, I'll go right upstairs. So they wound up talking. I left the kitchen, and there was a wooden staircase that went up each flight, and I went up to the first floor, and there was nobody there. And I walked around a little bit, and there was the living room, and I thought, don't make too much noise because the floors might creak and they're right below. And then I went up to the next floor, and it was the bedrooms, and I kind of snuck around the bedrooms, and I opened the drawers and looked at their underwear and what was in the drawers, and I was like snooping around because I was the biggest David Bowie fan. I mean, you have no idea, and here I am in his house, right? So of course I had to see what's in the drawers and, pulling things. I looked in the bathroom and all that kind of stuff. And Then when I got up to the top floor, it was this floor through open loft on 20th Street. They had a whole brownstone they were renting, and I was kind of like disappointed in a way because David Bowie was Starman, and I expected all the furniture to be like chrome and glass, and where's the space pod that he lives in, and he probably floats weightlessly in a chamber and all that kind of stuff. And it was quite different. David Bowie had come from folk music, so there was like a wooden rocking chair and like a couch with a blanket over it and some stuff up, tapestry or something like that, or something on the walls. It was very wood and organic. And beautiful, you know what I mean? But as a Bowie fan of Ziggy Stardust, David the Spaceman, I was like, wait a minute, where's the man who fell to Earth, and where's the pod that he slept in? Well, anyway, I wound up looking at the tape recorder, and there's nothing I could do. It was beyond my repair. And I went back downstairs to the bedroom floor again. I looked again while I still had a couple of minutes. Nothing had changed, but I had to see what was going on. Snooped in some drawers and all that kind of stuff. Didn't steal anything. Just wanted to look how my favorite rock star lived. And went back downstairs, and we talked some more and did some air kisses and said goodbye. And I walked Cherry home back to her home, and I took the subway back home. I was living on 71st Street in Central Park West at that time. I've remained friends with Angie Bowie. She's a real sweetheart. It was really, a really wonderful thing that I'm glad I shared. Actually, I've got some other Bowie stories, and I wound up getting managed by main man Tony DeFries, David Bowie's manager, which was not Bowie related. It's just as a fluke, working with this wonderful artist Sandy Dillon, who's also a friend of mine. Wound up getting a record deal through Bowie's management company, but we could talk about that elsewhere. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, another little Bowie story, and how I got to sneak around David Bowie's house and see what was going on. And I went to the circus with Angie Bowie and Zowie Bowie and Cherry Vanilla, and it was wonderful. Thank you so much again for listening. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps the channel. And if you hit that bell, you'll be one of the first people to be notified as I'm putting these up. Right now, I have a backlog of stories. I'm trying to do one every day or 2 days or something like that. There will be times where there'll be lapses because I'm working on projects, but as stuff gets in my brain, I'm putting it up there. I spoke to the guy who's doing the book with me, Martin Aston, and he was a little dismayed that I'm letting this stuff out on the internet. And Martin, if you're listening, I just need to get this out here so people could see what's going on, and hopefully some company would be interested in developing this further, or a publisher into a book. So Martin, I love you, and I'm taking the bull by the horns and putting this out there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Please share. Let your friends know if you like what's going on. Thanks.